United Kingdom Immigration System. Major Review. Hello and welcome to Discovery Learning Hub. Today we are diving into the latest review of the United Kingdom's immigration system. What's changed, why it matters, and how it might affect people around the world. Let's get started. 1. Why now? First, why is the UK reviewing its immigration system at this moment? The UK government argues that migration has risen too sharply in recent years and that the system has lost control. For example, one official document states that inward migration exploded to over 1 million people a year, 4 times the level compared with 2019. The review links this to pressures on public services, housing, labor markets, and integration. So, the review is being presented as a reset, a shift to a more selective, controlled system. 2. What are the key proposed changes? Here are some of the main reforms being proposed. Raising the skills threshold for work visas. The government plans to require higher-level qualifications, graduate level, and increase salary thresholds. Ending or restricting certain routes. For example, overseas recruitment of care workers is being ended. Time-limited or conditional access for lower-skilled roles via temporary shortage list approach, meaning overseas recruitment for lower-level jobs is only permitted if the sector shows it is training UK workers. Reform of family migration rules. The review indicates changes to who can bring family members, how they integrate, and how long before settlement is given. Integration and language requirements. The review emphasizes that newcomers must contribute, learn English, and integrate into communities. Enforcement and return measures. Tightening up borders, cracking down on exploitation of overseas workers, and enforcing rules more robustly. 3. What's driving these changes and what are the intended outcomes? From the government's perspective, these changes are driven by several ideas. Reasserting control. The message is that migration must be managed so that it works for the UK, not in spite of it. Prioritizing skills and contribution. The system will favor those with higher qualifications and those seen to contribute economically and socially. Reducing reliance on overseas labor. The reforms aim to encourage UK training, upskilling domestic workers, rather than simply importing labor. Ensuring fairness and public support. The idea is that by controlling numbers and enforcing rules, the system will gain greater public trust. 4. What are the criticisms and concerns? Of course, these proposals have sparked criticisms and concerns from various quarters. Some argue that raising thresholds will lead to labor shortages in sectors that depend on overseas workers, such as healthcare, hospitality, construction. Others say the emphasis on contribution and integration may create barriers for legitimate migrants and asylum seekers, or could disproportionately affect certain groups. There are also concerns about the direction of family migration reform, that it may break up families or reduce rights for people already in the UK. Human rights groups warn that increased enforcement and tougher rules may lead to more vulnerable people being left behind or exploited. Finally, critics say that migration is only part of the story, that training UK-based workers and addressing pay and conditions domestically are equally important. 5. What does this mean for migrants and international viewers? If you're someone who might migrate to the UK, or are studying migration policy internationally, here's what you should keep in mind. The rules are set to become more selective and tougher. Fewer lower-skilled routes, higher qualification and salary requirements. Family and settlement paths may be longer or more conditional, and integration requirements, language contribution, will be emphasized. Employers in the UK may face greater obligations, showing they've tried to recruit UK workers first, training domestically, etc. There may be implications for countries exporting labor to the UK. Fewer places in certain occupations may open up overseas. From a broader perspective, this review signals a shift in how migration is framed, from more open/traditionally liberal to more controlled/selective. 6. Why should we care and what to watch next? So why should we care about the UK immigration system? The UK remains a major destination for global migrants, students, workers and families. Changes here reverberate globally. Immigration policy influences labor markets, services, social integration, and international relations. It offers a case study of how advanced democracies respond to migration pressures, balancing economic need, political realities, and human rights. And what to watch next? The detailed immigration rules and legislation that will flow from the white paper and review. How sectors in the UK react. Will there be labour shortages, budget impacts, or changes in training? How migrant communities and advocacy groups respond. How new rules affect people on the ground. Whether the UK's approach influences other countries and vice versa in their migration policies. To wrap up, the UK's immigration system is undergoing one of its most significant reforms in a generation. The aim is to create a more controlled, selective system that emphasizes skills, contribution, and integration. But the changes carry risks and uncertainties, especially for migrants, employers, and the sectors that rely on overseas labor. If you found this breakdown helpful, please press like, subscribe to Discovery Learning Hub, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next deep dive. And we'd love to hear from you. What do you think of the UK's proposed reforms? What would you change? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring.